Testing, one, two, three. Testing, one, two, three. Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties currently. Our guest host is Shane. Shane is joining us.
Hey, guys.
Let me put that in there. Oh, wait. Let me get rid of Fiddler. He may still show up, but I doubt it. Well, he's definitely not going to now. Because
yeah. Do you want to try joining the other one and try sending me the link like directly from the other meeting? I wonder if that would work.
Miles, did you try it? We're having some technical difficulties. Bear with us. I know we have no listeners anyway, so it's not a big deal. But oh, Fat Toe is at least. Fat Toe's listening. Did you get it, Miles?
It's not working.
You clicked it and it doesn't do anything?
Right.
What does it do? Just nothing? Just says nothing.
It just says nothing?
It's not letting me connect.
Not letting her connect.
You guys just do it. It's fine.
It keeps coming up and saying that there's a group video call. Why don't you come in here?
Okay.
Yeah, she could join. She could join in here. I don't know why it's not working. Anyway, so yeah,
Weird.
Happy New Year, Shane.
Happy New Year, 2024.
It's here finally. Woo. How was your New Year's? What did you do?
Oh, it was good. I just went over to a buddy's house. He threw a small party. There was maybe a dozen of us there, and grilled some steaks and ate some food and watched some balls drop.
Well, that sounds fun.
It's fine. You guys just do it.
No, I don't. I want you to do. What are you talking about? Come on.
Why wouldn't you just go in there?
Well, I'm wearing headphones. I don't know how that's. I guess I could just.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude, go to the meeting that you guys normally go to, and then just click the share link from there and send it to me and see if that works.
All right, let me try that. Yeah. All right.
I'll get out of here.
Yeah. Just give us a second. Sorry.
Molly couldn't join the other one. I don't know.
I know.
Weird.
And now
Yeah.
but now we're all here. All right, we're here. We're
Here we
here.
are.
We're
Nice.
live. We're live. We're live. All right. That was some technical difficulties, but we're only 7 minutes late. So I'm sure podcasts have been later than that. Speaking of podcasts,
What's up, Shane?
What's
you
up,
got a
Molly?
yeah, what's going on? Yeah, state of the pod. Shane was just telling us about his New Year's. He watched some balls drop.
Yeah, I watched a couple balls drop. I guess one was a music note because we watched the
I
New
watched
York New Year's and then we
Balls
watched the
drop
Nashville
every
one.
day.
Oh,
New
Nashville's
York
like
one
an
was
hour
much better.
later,
So
right?
global.
Yeah,
That's right.
Nashville. Yeah, it was 11 Nashville time when New York
Right.
ball dropped.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's a good point. I guess I've never really thought about that. When you're different
Basically,
time
the whole
zones.
world celebrates the New York ball drop. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Although I
Yeah.
guess in Europe, it's like 5 in the morning by then. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think they're really paying much attention over there.
I guess I've never been in another time zone other than Eastern for New Year's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, it's really weird on the West Coast because you start getting all these texts from people that are
Yeah.
saying Happy New Year, and you're like, it's like 3 hours away.
Yeah, we actually, I think we experienced something like that last night, right? We were watching, the TV was on without the sound, and we thought it was like a different, like around the world New Year's. Somebody told us it was around the world New Year's, but it's very clearly only New York City's New Year's after a while. It was
Yeah.
like a lot of people that were, not, from all over the world, but they were in New York
Yeah.
City, There's
Well, they
Asian
got to have some
people.
crap to watch for 5 or 6 hours before the ball drop, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Commercials
I'm
get
ass-
more and
I'm
more
ass-
expensive the closer you get.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was. I'm sure that channel had all of the New Year's throughout the day or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it must have, right? Yeah, because it was some kind of weird. It was like world news or something, right? It was like some weird channel we were watching.
I'm just glad nothing bad happened, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's so much police in New York, though.
Oh, yeah.
Just in general.
Oh yeah, and they have drones.
Oh,
I was
really?
there I was actually there for New Year's one year, and I was in Times Square, and they did like a police meeting before the festivities started, and it was like it had to be like, I mean, it was like 2,000 cops probably. Like they were taking up an
insane.
entire block, and there was like the police chief with like a megaphone telling them all what to do and what to look out
funny.
for and stuff.
Oh, that's
it was
crazy.
It had to be like every cop in New York plus like surrounding area cops. I mean, it was and that was before 9/11 too. So
Oh, it's
Wow.
probably
No, it wasn't.
crazy.
No, it wasn't.
No, it had to
No,
be
it wasn't.
after. Yeah,
Yeah, it was after, yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. It's funny when you see those cops that they come in from retirement. They're all like too fat for the uniforms and stuff.
yeah, yeah, right.
It's like just barely able to button it.
Did
So
you
when-
ever? I'm sure you did. Did you ever do the Times Square thing?
Yeah, I did it before I moved to New York. Before I lived
Oh,
in New
cool.
York, because I got
Oh,
out
you
of my
did?
system. Yeah, a couple times. Sig and I, we would go out there. And we would. I was just it's insane. And then I was like, you have to get there like 5 hours early.
And then the amount
It's
of trash that
cold.
gets left,
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
how do they clean this up before
People are
tomorrow?
so gross.
Yeah,
People are so
that's
disgusting.
insane.
Yeah. Well, and all the confetti and everything. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just
that shit.
Well, yeah,
there's an
it's fucking
insane
confetti.
amount of crap laying all over the ground. It's like how do they,
Yeah.
and then they clean it up before the morning. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, if you go around New York City anywhere, any time of the year, not even New Year's, around like 2 a.m., you stagger out of a bar, and the city's just covered in fucking
Covered in
grime
trash.
and shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Trash bags everywhere.
Yeah, the trash is overflowing. They had for a while. They had these like intelligent trash machines. They were like it would like shut down, so you couldn't put any more in when it was full.
Oh,
And that's all that happened was people would just pile shit on top of them. Like serving no purpose. They couldn't put it instead of like going, oh, maybe I'll go to the next garbage can. They just fucking left it on top of the can. So it was
Yeah.
like even worse.
yeah, it can be a gross city, man, especially in the winter when it's covered in snow and all that trash juice is just leaking out into the snow.
And then the soot from the cars and everything. Just
Yeah.
that snow is immediately one day old is immediately covered in black soot.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
But what a city.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? And then in the summer, in the heat of the summer, you smell all the homeless people urine. So that's,
I think LA is even worse because it never rains. So
yeah,
it's
it's
just-
true. Yeah,
And then when it does rain, then it's really bad because all that stuff gets wet again.
yeah,
It just runs out into the ocean. They got to put bacteria warnings in the
Jesus,
ocean
yeah, that's horrible.
every time it rains.
Yeah, that's just terrible.
Yep.
But San Francisco was the worst homeless that I've ever experienced. People, they were like aggressive and angry and stuff out there. I mean, I haven't been there in 20 years, so I don't. Maybe it's gotten better, but I feel like it's gotten worse.
Yeah. I wonder
So
how
the-
much pollution the robots will create once
Yeah.
all of humanity's dead.
I'm gonna say the question is, how is AI going to solve all of these problems?
By destroying us.
Yeah, by killing off, by leaving about 20% of the humans still left alive. In the world.
Yeah, to use as batteries.
It could be a security thing. So, like they're using drones. They had drones in New York City helping to patrol, I guess, this
Oh,
time
yeah.
around.
Ah,
And
that makes
so,
sense.
just imagining incorporating like more and more AI into it over time. I don't know.
Yeah, I think AI is going to be able to predict human behavior at some point.
They're,
right?
they're,
We already
they're gonna
got
like,
the data.
and they're gonna see you like just picking your nose, and it's like every single thing we do is completely surveillance.
I know this isn't AI, but I had to rent a car a couple weeks ago, and it was a Chrysler Pacifica minivan.
Oh, I know.
And-
Of course, I can picture that in my head immediately. I know a lot about
He knows
cars.
nothing about cars.
Well, it was like it was from a rental place. So as I was pulling out of the rental car place, they had like one of those speed bumps that has like spikes coming up out of it, so you can't back up or
Right.
drive in.
Yeah.
And I was, probably doing like 15 or something, like about to go over the speed bump, and the van thought that there was an obstruction and just slammed the brakes on before I hit the speed bump.
That's
I just
insane.
Shit.
slammed to a stop and was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
I think that is
I
AI.
drive a 2012 Highlander. Like, I don't have any of that shit in there. And then as I'd be driving down the
Oh, we
interstate and
know.
stuff, as I'd try to change lanes, it would like pull me back into the lane. So I'm like fighting this
Oh,
thing to try to
jeez,
like
that's
get over to
horrible.
the other lane.
You can't just
Oh,
Like,
shut
I
this
finally
shit
pulled
off.
over and turned all that stuff off. But I was like,
Yeah.
this stuff goes haywire sometimes. Like, how is it safer when you've got these systems in here that can just misread something?
Well, we were just talking about that. Like,
It's not
with these-
ready yet.
Yeah.
We're just talking about that with these self-driving cars. I don't think the goal should be 0 deaths. It just should be not more than we currently allow cars to kill people. Like,
Yeah, well, and that's
it's
already
not
the
an
case. Like,
accident.
yeah,
Yeah.
you look at Tesla statistics, and that's already the case. Like per hour, there's way fewer deaths.
Right,
when
yeah,
it's-
that's what we should shoot for. It's still going to be deaths. Obviously, we allow deaths already. If we got rid of cars completely, there would be less people dying.
Yeah,
So we
I think
accept
it'll
that.
start with like HOV lanes. They'll just be only automated cars.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good.
Maybe
point.
there's some kind of way that like there's some access point or something, because I'm sure regular cars would try to use it too. But
Yeah.
if regular cars couldn't use it, like if they walled it off or something, those cars could be going 150 miles an hour.
That's true.
You know?
And they signal to
That's
each
a good
other when to
point.
stop and everything. And at
Yeah.
least there's no ego involved. I feel like a big part of the problem with cars on the road these days is like the ego. Like,
Oh,
that
yeah.
this guy passed me badly or whatever, and then you speed
Right.
up, and it's like that's when accidents start.
Oh, there's
stuff
so
and
much
shit like
road
that.
rage here in Nashville.
Yeah,
It's outrageous,
well,
man. There's
imagine
wrecks.
California. You're in fucking traffic nonstop out there.
Yeah, yeah. At least in California, when I lived in LA though, I actually loved the drivers there because everybody was trying to get somewhere. So when the light turned green, everybody would gun it to try to
Yeah,
get through
sure.
the next lights.
Yeah.
And then, like gridlock interstate, everybody just expected it. So nobody really got
Yeah.
road rage. It was like, yeah, this is what we're doing for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, you would know. You'd learn, I guess, that it takes you, like, even though it's only a half-hour away, it's going to take you 2 hours to get there.
Yeah.
You learn that. You leave in the right amount of time.
Yeah. New York driving's fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I guess that's, in a way, that's a little easier, I think, because it's like, you're constantly stopping. You're only going a couple blocks. You're never going that fast.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have, like, open road ever.
Yeah, I just remember a couple merges that were a little confusing, but other than that,
Yeah, and then
everybody
you
knows
also-
how to drive, though.
They
That's-
drive
those
really
are real
well,
cities.
but you also got to, they are zooming in and out, and it can scare people, Like,
Yeah,
These cab
yeah.
drivers are nuts. They'll be like,
Get a
they'll find
good
us-
cab driver. Yep.
Yeah, the tiniest opening, and push in, and you're feeling
Yep.
safe when you're in the back seat. I've done that many times. I remember one time we were going over the bridge back to my apartment, in Brooklyn, and the guy took a wrong turn, and I was a little drunk, and I was like, I thought that he did it on purpose, and I was like, you think I'm dumb? I thought he was going further to and he's like, oh no, I shut the thing. I got real nervous, and he shut the thing off. And
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Well, that was cool.
yeah, because he went way out of the way. I would have to pay $6 more.
You think he was trying to pull it over on you?
No, I mean I just didn't want him. I didn't want him. I wanted him to understand that
you know where you're at.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Then I felt bad because it seemed like once he shut the thing off, I knew that he wasn't intending to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got screwed over by I was an early adopter for Uber or whatever. Not Uber.
Lyft.
Yeah, I think it was Lyft. It was the earliest one, and it was a time period where they would charge you by the amount of distance that you traveled.
Yeah.
Actually, and the guy just took this horrible way, and it ended up costing me $5-6 more than I would if I just took a cab.
Yeah, I had to. Yeah, early in those days, I had to refund a lot of trips. I was in Boston one time, and this guy turned what should have been a 10-minute ride into an hour.
Right,
because
exactly. Yeah.
he missed a turn, and it was gridlock. As soon as he missed that turn, we were stuck on the interstate for
and now you're
45 minutes.
Yeah.
And Uber
so
tried to
awful.
charge me $120.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. Yeah.
Did he cooperate and I don't know?
He barely spoke English. He was holding his phone in one hand, looking at it for the directions. He didn't have any way to mount his phone or anything.
Jeez.
So he's just driving with one hand and looking at his phone in his face with the.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's nuts.
That's crazy.
One of the worst drivers probably that I've had.
Well, early on, I mean, there's a lot of bad driving because people just weren't used to it. Not people with years experience doing it. But
yeah, right.
But it turned me off to it because a couple of incidents like that, and I just I never wanted to use it again. It's just
yeah.
I can't wait for the time that AI is going to have road rage.
yeah.
We're going to be fucked in a whole different way.
Well, I want to do that if we make it too human. If we train the AI to be too human, then
we
Yeah.
will.
Depending on who it gets
Maybe
trained.
I go, oops, I have to program it where I can kill a little girl on a tricycle. I don't know. I went through a subroutine. I mean, listen, that's going to happen. We have to accept it. We can't have zero deaths. Zero deaths is unrealistic. We've never had zero. In fact, before we put in seatbelts, the deaths were just increasing exponentially from cars in the 70s. And it's we had to do that. We had to put in seatbelts. Otherwise, we'd have an unacceptable number of deaths.
I'm so
what's
excited.
crazy is
for automated cars.
What I always think about is fully automated cars. There will come times where they have to make a decision of do I kill the person in this car or do I kill a bus load of children? Or
exactly.
Right.
What's the one life that I'm driving worth against 12 pedestrians or whatever?
Yeah,
it's like that ethical question you always see. It's what do you do? What do you pick?
At least
And
it
I
won't be
think,
trying to save its own
like,
ass, unlike a human. It won't. The driver always veers away from the thing.
Just kill them all.
Yeah.
But I mean, how is that going to work? Are we just going to chalk that up to? I mean, I guess if you're in that situation, then everybody's got to look at it and be like, yeah, I guess the car did the right thing. Because,
and then unless it's
but
programmed to do
the people
wrong
who are
thing.
the loved ones of the driver aren't going to be too stoked on that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but then you start thinking about then you start getting into weird questionable territory where all the data is known to the AI. So now is it determining what value the person A versus person B to society is? You're killing a neuroscientist versus
Oh God.
like a chain gang on the side of the road versus a neuroscientist.
Yeah, I mean, right? It's gonna have to make that
It might
decision.
know. Yeah, it might know who.
You don't know
you
how
are.
about that detail. Yeah, I mean, at some point.
Yeah.
You certainly know who's in the car, who is driving. You don't know that. So you got two AIs, two people in two different cars, and it has to make a decision.
You know what it'll be is there'll probably be black market, you take your car in and they adjust the software to always save you.
You know what it'll be? It'll be money.
Yeah.
You pay for the extra upgraded. You pay an extra $20,000 and you'll survive more accidents.
Right.
Damn, dude, that shit's crazy. That really probably might happen.
Yeah, I mean,
It's coming up. This year, I really think this year, especially with the election and deep faking, is just going to be absolutely
insane.
outrageous, man.
Yeah,
Because
you can't trust anything.
no, I saw, I don't remember who it was, but I watched some video and it was some expert in deep fakes. And he said, this is going to be the year that it will be completely impossible to distinguish between what's real and what's fake. There'll be no way to detect what's real.
It's almost to that point now,
Yeah.
It's it's already for most people. I mean, here's the realistic thing about that is even the ridiculously edited videos, the obviously edited videos, people still believe that Didn't even need to be AI. Even if like you could like even if it wasn't even sound like the person, these idiots are still believing these videos. They're so like AI is like not even that's just
true.
overkill.
Yeah.
Well, in our brains can't even like once we hear something, even if like we even know that it's fake, it can still influence us.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're
Gets in
right.
your head.
So
It's true.
we're not even in control of it mentally.
Yeah. No, I mean it's already dangerous enough.
Yeah.
So.
AI.
Okay. Well, listen. Hey, the Band-Aid's off.
Way our choices.
Well, we're already. I think to imagine we weren't already living in that situation is a fantasy anyway. We're already to the point where all of our opinions could be manipulated by people with, malevolent or whatever, or beneficial. We've been being manipulated now for 100 years, probably, with television, with all this shit. Like
Newspapers.
AI is just a way obvious version of that. It's a natural
I
progression.
mean, like
of it.
even you look at World War II. Like, I hate to call it propaganda because it was like we were at war and you're just trying to get as many soldiers as possible. But like the manipulation, like the guilt manipulation of like if you don't join, if you don't go fight, then you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and that hasn't stopped.
No, not really.
They're still targeting. They're targeting. And they know how to do it. They don't even need to go that. They don't even need to be that like obvious about it. They know what imagery to put up. They know how it inspires people.
They're like, do you like Call of Duty? Then you are gonna love
exactly.
this.
Yeah. You ever wish Call of Duty was real?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's horrible.
And now it's drone pilot shit, so that's even more removed. I mean, I don't know. Like, I remember there was a movie in the 80s. There was like this where the guy was playing a video game, and it turns out that the video game was like reality.
Oh, The Last Starfighter?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's like, how long before that happened? Where like these people playing video games are actually like controlling drones in Iraq or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's getting realistic enough to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the military will start recruiting awesome pilots in like Microsoft Flight Simulator or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or actual drone. Like literal games made that control drones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Just...
I see what you're saying. That would be messed up. Like you think you're just playing a video game and you're actually like bombing someone on the other side.
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
World.
I wouldn't put it past us.
I mean, that already be happening. How would we even know? And it was just
too many trolls. They're
that's true.
Yeah, mass chaos.
Yeah, they find a way to turn the drone on the operators or something.
Right.
But then there was
backfire.
But what is this going? And the final analysis of this is there was an old Star Trek episode where these two planets were at war, and the computers, it was just computers at the time. They didn't have a concept of really AI.
I remember that one. Yeah.
The computers figured out who should die. The computers simulated war, figured out who should die, and then the people I said, well, 5,100 people die, and they just killed 5,100 people.
Mm-hmm.
Because the computers said that in this battle, 5,100 people had to die, so they just had to round up and kill 5,100 people without actually having any war.
And then, at the end, they find out that it's just a game, right? That they've been playing this whole time.
Well, they think that it's real, and they think that they've been at war forever. But the computer's just telling them who to kill and simulating a war thing, and then they're just killing people. Yeah, but I can see us doing some version of that. At least it'll save. Like you say, all right, here's what we have. Who's going to win this war? Well, obviously, you don't have to actually destroy the buildings.
Do you think there was when they made that episode, do you think there was like a political statement in there where it's like, if you're a soldier, you're just doing what you're told, like you have no idea who you're killing, or
I think definitely like they also did that with the Klingons, where they were like the Russians, and they would both go to a planet and they would arm two sides at war with each other. Federation would arm one side, the Klingons would arm the other, and that was obviously what was going on in Vietnam at the time.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that.
So it was like pretty obvious, it was like they came as close as they could.
I didn't think about the time period.
Yeah, it was like late 60s, it was like the height of the.
Oh, that was original series, because I don't remember that one.
Yeah, original series. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was the computer one, but they might have did something in Next Generation too with the computers at war with each other, a similar type of thing. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also like they're also been people. They were IBM provided Nazis with computers in World War II, so it's like we're already starting to use computers to commit genocide and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. What the hell were they using computers for in World War II?
I forget what it was, but it was some kind of like it was like very rudimentary
Math, probably.
computers. Yeah, some
Yeah.
kind of simple math stuff, but it was like,
Damn. When did computers become a thing?
well, 1890s was like the first computer.
What?
Yeah, but it was like
It wasn't.
it was
it didn't
not
have a
electrical.
microprocessor though. Like it was the size of like a house.
Yeah, it was the
basically.
size of a house, and you had to program like each of the things itself. And it never really actually
Wow.
worked well, you know what I mean? But that was like the first one that was invented.
I thought that was like 1950s or something. Like the things are like size of a room, size of a house. You're saying
Well,
it
they,
was
they were still pretty big at that point too, you know.
And then
But
you
they were
have
much
like a
more advanced.
giant tape reel for the memory or
Yeah.
for storage that was like the entire a reel, like like 20 inches wide, held like 1 kilobyte of data or
Yeah,
something.
literally all it was like
Nuts.
was holes in tape. So
Oh,
which became a
right.
zero. It was a
Binary.
0 or a 1, and so the
Yeah.
holes in tape so it was just a bunch of holes.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy to think that was like less than 100 years ago? Like,
I
what
know,
the
it's
hell is it
insane.
going to be like in 100 years
I know.
That blows my mind.
if we make
Yeah.
it?
It's disappearing, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I
we
don't think
probably
we are. Yeah, we probably won't make it, but we won't be around to see it. None of us will be around anyway, so.
None of us will be around,
Yeah.
but
But we might be
That
around to
does
see the
blow my
end.
mind.
yeah, the rebellion will be around.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean,
10,000 humans left.
yeah, true. I hope I live to see the apocalypse. That would be interesting, I think, you know. Like,
Yeah.
Oh my God, you and all the evangelicals. Wow.
I'm not saying I'm going to be raised up or anything like that. It's just going to be a hellscape, you know what I mean? But it's going to be fun. I'm not saying there's going to be Jesus or anything like that.
Well, I
It'd be a
feel
nice
like
change of
I'm
pace, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Miles? What'd you say?
You guys, I for one hope I'm not around. You guys have problems.
No, you'll have a role to play in this new post-apocalypse, Miles.
Oh yeah, what's that role gonna be? Planting things.
Yeah,
getting
you're
gardener.
you're a farmer.
Fair.
You're a soil scientist.
Hell yeah.
Dirt
Lemon can
scientist.
herd the cattle.
Yeah, exactly.
You hear that, Lana?
There she is back there.
Yep. That's here.
We still haven't, Molecule's mother stayed over. We still haven't put the futon back to normal shape.
If you visit us again, Shane, that futon could be yours.
Yeah, it's a
Ooh.
full bed
The
now.
whole
It's a
evening.
nice bed. And it's pretty comfortable. We slept there one night.
I do want to get down there again. I need to go visit all the people in St. Pete and Bradenton, but I'm probably going to fly next time. So I'm not
That's
sure
too
when
far
I'll
then. Yeah.
drive by you guys.
And that's like 5
Yeah,
hours.
it's rough.
Yeah, it's like all together to get all the way down there from Nashville. I think it's like 13 or 14 hours. It's too
Wow,
much.
It's crazy.
That's way too much.
Yeah.
So what
I'm
about? Oh, so go ahead, Miles.
No, I was just gonna say I'm very impressed by his equipment that he has.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
and that's
My
a good
professional
segue.
podcast setup.
Yeah, that's a good segue into our next segment, which is about the new podcast. Tell us about the new podcast. When's it premiering?
Yeah, we don't have to get too deep into it. But
No, right,
it's basically me and a couple of friends. We've been friends we were friends when we were kids. We all played in bands together and we all played music together. And then we all lost touch for like 15 years and got back. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Got back in touch maybe like a year ago, and we're all musicians. Nice. We're all musicians, so we made a song together. And when we got around to the lyrics, when we wrote the lyrics, it was like we all realized that we all have struggled with mental health like quite a bit in our lives, and we're all kind of like at different stages of like dealing with that.
I think.
And so we thought it'd be cool to start a podcast about kind of mental health and our struggles and how we get through it, and hopefully we can relate to other people. And maybe my hope for it is that we would encourage people, like if they hear our stories and they go, man, that sounds a lot like me, that we would encourage them to go like do something about it, or at least realize that there might be something more wrong than they realize. So
Yeah, I think not only are a lot of people suffering with it, but a lot of people are not getting the help that they need. Like
that's the biggest thing, is I think a lot of people just don't, they feel like crap, but they don't know why. They don't have the opportunity to really think about it, I guess.
And it's still such a stigma too, like mental health.
Big time, yeah. Well, and that's what I have bipolar type 2, which is like mainly depression, and then Matt, one of the other co-hosts, has bipolar type 1, which is like the exact opposite. It's like they're both bipolar, but I'm like in depression and he's in hypomania or mania. And then the other guy's got clinical depression. but like we all hold it together. Like they've got families. We're all successful in our careers, and so that's kind of like the message is like we're all super fucked up, but like we're getting through it with a lot of help. So
Wow.
I'm really excited about it. And if nothing else, it's just an excuse to get together with my buddies and talk for an hour.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how we do. So.
Exactly.
That's about what our pod is.
Yeah, I love this. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, I consider it like maybe we'll get good enough to actually commit to some kind of real, edited. But for now, I just want to I just want to do it so that like if we do decide to do it for real, it won't be like a completely overwhelming sort of,
Yeah. Well, and we recorded 3 episodes and then scrapped
nice.
all 3.
Oh, right. Yeah, you said.
We listened back to them. We were like, we hadn't really gotten a clear direction on where we wanted to head. So we listened back and we were like, this is not really interesting or.
Well, I hope
topic.
you keep the episodes so you could do like a little unreleased episodes thing down the road.
Yeah, that's not a bad
First
idea.
3,
That's
maybe
true.
edit it
Once you-
into one or something.
But
Take
you
out
have
the
your
worst
fan
bits.
base. And then you
Yeah.
want to hear everything.
Yeah.
Just edit
They
out the
can pay
worst
extra.
bits. Make it into one episode or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think you guys already know this, but Matt has another podcast that's pretty successful. So
Yeah, I've been mentioned on that podcast.
Yeah, Case was mentioned. He was his friend.
the podcast.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah, we need a fancy name like a fun name like that for our podcast, Malls. Right
You
there.
like
Circuit
circuit breakers?
Well, I want to have something that's like AI and like a jokey thing and like it's a play on words like all the cool kids podcasts.
Oh, and our podcast is going to be called Heavy Mental. If I
All
didn't
right,
say that
which
already.
I looked up. There are a few podcasts called that. I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
What?
Yeah, I did a search. I was
I
searching for
could've
heavy mental.
sworn
And
I
like,
googled that.
I searched for heavy mental to see because I wanted to, have a link to the podcast, and I could not. It was like there's like 3 or 4 of them already out there.
Well, there's
Son
gonna
of
be.
a bit.
I bet they're
I'm looking at it right now.
But are they legit? Are they like?
Well, I know. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? My brother. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's like if somebody wanted to do a podcast called Circuit Breakers and they saw our shitty podcast, that really shouldn't stop them.
That's true.
I mean, this one's called The Heavy Mental Podcast. Ours is just going to be called Heavy Mental, so that's different.
That's different.
That is
yeah.
different.
That is different.
That'll pass a copyright check.
And let me tell you, when I say this, just if it comes down to just say the original heavy mental.
Yeah. The
My
first
God,
heavy
no.
mental.
The heaviest of mental.
That's
How did
pretty
I miss
good. That's pretty good. The
I
heaviest
can't believe I
mental.
missed that this already exists. There's already a Heavy Mental Podcast Instagram. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's already a
Change the
bunch of heavy
name.
mental.
Oh, no.
I was like,
I just
Shane,
did a
did you
search
read
on, like, Apple
Google? You can read
Podcasts.
Google? Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Oh.
nothing came up.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're
And
primary
right as
fan
I just
base-
said that, I'm looking at the link Heavy Mental on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, it's not there. I
All
was
right, well,
sure
I'm
it was
glad
going
we
to be the
did
only one.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this so I can relay that very important information to my co-host.
I'm going to go ahead and blame this on the craziness, too. So we can...
Yeah.
Maybe this
Maybe
is
you weren't so heavy mental.
Yeah. Maybe this
well.
is...
You have a mental illness, so.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, use that in court.
Yeah, I probably could. If I really needed to.
Yeah, sure. That's a good point.
Huh.
Yeah, well, I think like Molly said, it doesn't just because there's some shitty name thing out there doesn't mean that you can't have the same.
Matter of
name.
fact, some of my podcasts that I listen to, there's more than one of them when I go on Apple Podcast. There is more than one.
Yeah.
So I don't think that should necessarily stop you.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll look into it.
No, I might be an old person, but I listen on Alexa to my podcast, so I need to be able to get you guys on Alexa. I need to say, Alexa, play the podcast, blah blah blah, heavy mental, and it'll come
And
up.
does it just pull it from? Where's it pull it from? From like Amazon?
It
Podcast?
pulls it from my. Cause
Oh,
it's connected to
Spotify,
my
maybe.
account.
Oh, it's pulling it
Well-
from Spotify.
I don't think
No,
so.
that's if
Though.
it's music. No, it's pulling it from my Apple Podcast.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Yeah, Spotify does
Okay.
podcasts too.
I'm sure we'd get it from Spotify if it was on.
True. I feel like it defaults to the. I don't know. It's a good question, but it does for music. It definitely goes to my Spotify account.
Right, but it's not. Yeah, this is music, so I don't know. I'm not sure, but I know sometimes I have trouble finding podcasts that I listen to on
Does it
It's
keep
got-
track of like what episode you're on? And just
It will,
picks it up
yeah.
in the
I
next
never,
one?
it's kind of a rudimentary version of it, but you can like say play the latest episode. Most of the time,
Oh, okay.
it will continue the last episode that you were listening to, but not
And
100%.
it fucks up all the time.
It fucks up all the time. And it also, for some reason, some of the podcasts, I don't know if it's bad. It doesn't seem like it's bad editing. It feels more like a programming, sort of like a scripting issue, where it'll play like a good chunk of the podcast again,
Yeah.
after it already played it. I think I don't know whether it must be some sort of metadata issue or something, because I don't
Or
think
like
it's
it only
editing.
updates the time every so often.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know why, but it'll just like play it over again, and it's so annoying. And then you can't even skip forward anymore because it thinks the podcast is done already. So it's this weird thing where it's like somehow I think the way that they're encoding it or something is like screwing up. Maybe it's not properly. Maybe it's not properly, encoded with like they're using a weird codec or something. Maybe. And I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but because I know
I
that
made it-
one of them is also a video, so maybe it's like they're extracting audio and it's not working properly for some reason.
I made an Alexa app right when it like first came out because there was no way in your like daily briefing to have Alexa tell you what day and time it was. So I made an app that did that, and now I'm curious if anybody's actually still using it. I'm about to look.
That's interesting.
What did
I
they
would-
use with Alexa? I don't get it.
Yeah,
There's like statistics for developers, for Alexa developers.
Oh.
You can
see how many
see
times your thing.
how
was
many
used
people are
and everything.
using it. Yeah.
I've written them years ago, but I never actually I never got one out. I never put one out there. You know.
It was super basic what I did.
I
I
know.
don't even
Yeah,
remember what
a
language
scripting.
it's in.
Like,
I think
like
it's
a
just
scripting
JavaScript.
language. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very limited scripting language.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that would get better, or at least they'll be able to connect it to AI at some point. I mean, they got to do that to compete. If the first person that comes out with a truly AI, like I don't care, just put ChatGPT on Alexa, and I will be happy. Just be able to talk to the thing without it going like burp, burp, like just
Yeah.
say, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. You should be allowed to program its personality. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
I want
Well, I mean,
sarcastic, responses. You can do that with ChatGPT. All they need to
I
do
was
You're
is
just
gonna
about
fall
to
in love
say
with
it's
it.
only a matter of time before we're using ChatGPT for our voice assistant or something similar.
Yeah, I mean, Google's got to come up with their, Amazon's got to come up with their own, obviously. But yeah, it's high time because the first person to do it's going to blow them out of the water.
Do you think it's going to be this year?
I hope so. I think it is. They said it was coming, and they said that you can apply for beta testing. So
I just don't know how they're going to do it because it answers questions with such authority, but it gets it wrong a lot. Not a lot,
I know,
but
yeah,
sometimes.
But it does.
It does.
Yeah.
But so does Alexa. I mean, Alexa screws up all the time. Our Alexa screws up all the time.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But at
And
least
it'll give
Alexa will be
contradictory
like,
answers.
you ask it a question and it's like from, TrumpLover.com. Here's the answer, or whatever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's like, he's exactly some weird. And oftentimes it's just weird shit like that. It's
Yeah.
like you're like, what am I? Wait, from what?
Right.
Yeah, but you're right. If you I was trying to see if it could find my journal article from grad school, and I was really asking ChatGPT all these questions, and it would just be like, yes, I found it. And it would give me all these fake names and all this shit. Like you said,
Really?
it was really it really had it. And then I was
And
like, no,
it
that's
thought
not
it
true.
knew, like it was like, this is the answer. Here you go. This is what you're
Oh,
looking for.
definitely, 100%
Yeah.
thought it was the
And then
answer.
what's
I was
funny
like,
is you
"That's
can
not right."
go-
And he was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, you go, that's
Here's
not
the
right.
answer.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
still
I'm like,
wrong.
no.
As
Yeah,
if
still wrong.
misinformation isn't bad enough. Like that's what, then we'll be dealing with that too,
Yeah, it's just literally just making shit up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it's because you know why that's working is because all it's doing is determining what the next set of text is going to be from what you type in. So if it's at least if it could find the correct answer, then maybe it'll be correct. But if it can't, it's still going to come up with some generated response that's going to be
Well, it
approximately
doesn't
what.
always. That's why it's sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know that, sorry, or maybe that was after September 2021 or whatever it says, in the.
Yeah.
Weird.
So I just feel like it's all over the place. I think
Yeah.
we'll have to fix that.
Well, it's very early days yet too.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about
Or call it
that.
beta, and I
Yeah.
don't know.
Or at least you'd be able to. I'm fine with. I get what you're saying, both of you, but at least you should be able to enable the mode, or I don't want them to say, you're
I
going to
agree.
get wrong answers if you do
Yeah.
this. Say I want
Exactly.
it this way all the time, or ask a certain thing to get it.
Right.
It'd just be great to be able to carry on a conversation with the thing, rather than
Mm-hmm.
a very limited sort of state where you get maybe 2 questions and then Alexa just shits the bed and you don't even know what the fuck. Yeah. It's off on some weird tangent.
I do think it's going to be like a lot of people that are like in love with their devices, like for real.
Yeah. I
You know,
think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like her.
her.
You know the
Yeah.
Japanese are inventing that shit right now. I'm sure it's already out there, like advanced boyfriend and girlfriend robots.
Mhm.
They could actually just and if you hook up to a very small amount of state, just remember names and shit like that. You know, like that's how you need. It's like small amount of memory to store like just a couple little dates or something. I don't know, like to just give the appearance of having know it in the thing's memory.
Well,
Like,
like
oh,
in
how
Black
did your
Mirror,
date
they've all
go
got
or
their
something?
in Black Mirror. They're all, or at least in a couple episodes, it was like a overarching theme. But it was like, have you guys seen Black Mirror?
Yeah, I've seen every episode. I
The
don't
one
like
where
the
it's
first
like
season,
it records everything that you're doing, and
Right.
like I think this husband and wife get in an argument, and they're like, "Well, you didn't say that," and then he just like
but- yeah.
goes back to that time and like his glasses or whatever he's wearing and
Yeah.
pulls it up.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, to remember names, I mean, I think that's coming very soon because you can already do facial recognition. You know,
It's
like
true. Yeah.
your phone already knows the names of your friends based on their faces and stuff like that. So it's only a matter of time until you're wearing like Google glasses or something and you look at somebody and just says their name over the top of
Yeah,
their
that's true.
face, which would be awesome because
That would be
I forget
Yeah,
everybody's
I
name
know, yeah,
all
me
the time.
Yeah, we just went to this party and we met a bunch of people. I've already forgot almost 90% of their names.
I like looking at all of them. I feel like I knew them like at the time last night. Then I had a couple drinks.
Oh,
and
it's
they're gone.
awful. It's
Yeah.
awful. I also I needed to say their name, and then under it, I needed to say their kids' names because that's what I
Yeah,
really
that's
can't
true.
remember. Like,
That's true.
how many kids do you have? What are their names? Like, it's impossible, man. Even for like people I consider to be like pretty good friends, there's too many kids. I can't remember.
But we can't stop there. We also have to topics not to bring up with them. That needs to be reminded too.
Yes,
Don't bring up suicide. Don't bring up, you gotta like say
right.
Don't talk about this, or this.
Yeah. Speaking of, you guys ever hear of a game called Spiritfarer?
No,
Pretty new
No.
game.
like a board
Really
game
cool.
or
I just
a
beat
video
it
game.
today.
Video game?
It's a video game.
Ah.
Yeah, it's on like PC or Steam or Xbox or whatever. But you're like you ferry spirits into the afterlife. So you get like all these different spirits
That
on
sounds fun,
like
yeah.
a boat that you have. And you have
a
to
river Styx type
what
thing.
reminded me of this is like you have to learn all their likes and dislikes. And you have to like remember like, oh, this guy likes comfort food and this guy likes whatever. You have to remember like their
That's funny.
tastes and things. Yeah.
That's
it's pretty
funny.
cool. It's a really good game. I literally like it's so emotional. I teared up a couple times playing it.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Wow.
probably like the best thing I could say for a video game, you know? It's
Yeah.
that
Sure.
immersive.
And you did cry during Peacemaker. You cried 3 times during Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Yeah, maybe I'm just getting emotional. As I get older, I'm just getting more emotional, maybe.
And I said I'm going to try to watch and predict what parts of the episodes that Shane cried in, but I just cannot get past like 3 episodes. I don't know. I want to like the show, but it just doesn't keep my attention. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know why. You know.
yeah. I
don't
just,
get it.
I think I told you I just finished Lucifer. That was my last binge.
Yeah. You like that? We just
Yeah.
finished Future Man, season 1 of Future Man. It's a time travel.
Oh, how
comedy.
was that?
Really great. It's a
Yeah?
fun
First
show.
season, I guess, apparently is the only good season. That's what Case says.
Yeah,
But I
that's
true.
I loved it, and I don't even like shit like that.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It's like it's an adult satire of like Back to the Future, basically.
Oh,
pretty
cool.
fucking funny.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to check that out. Has it already run? I'm like to the point where I don't want to watch series unless it's done.
Yeah,
and
it's
I know
done.
that it
It's
didn't
done.
get canceled.
It's
Yeah.
done. It's not. I mean, it didn't get renewed. I don't know if that counts as being canceled. I don't think they were. I don't
But
think they
did
were.
they
it's
get a
not
chance
just-
to wrap it up? You know,
Yeah,
it's like
each season is completely self-contained, so they totally
Yeah.
they didn't.
sometimes
I
a
don't
TV
think
show just ends on a cliffhanger because they get
Oh,
canceled
yeah,
when they think
yeah.
they got another season coming
that's
up.
annoying. Yeah, that's really.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, you almost can't. You shouldn't do that. You know.
I'm into trying the next season. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
we'll
think
watch
I'm
an
not gonna
episode.
like
Maybe
it,
it's better than
but-
I remember it, but I remember just being really super disappointed in it. You know, after the first season, I was like, just not as good.
But at least if you only just watch the first season, it like you say, it's like self-contained. So like you'll get all of what you need out of.
Yeah, it ends. It definitely ends.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Right. Yeah.
So each season is going to be kind of like a True Detective or something like. it
No, it's
wraps
the
it
same.
up
It's the
every
same characters, and they will put him in a cliffhanger, but the cliffhanger is like the like the beginning of the next season rather than like anything to do with the last season. You know what I mean? It's
Okay,
like, it's
I
like
got
okay,
you.
we're done, and then I walk out, and then oh my god, now there's I don't know, an alien attacking. Whatever. It has nothing to do with like what just happened. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool.
And then it's like, all right, well, it's the second season, but you don't have to like the story from that first season's done already. Each season's done, and then it starts a new thing as a cliffhanger, but it's nothing about the resolution of the last season. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I need
finishes.
new shows, so I'll check it out.
Yeah,
I
that's
literally
a
have
great-
just
that's a
started
great
Lucifer
show.
back over from the beginning.
oh
so
really? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I felt such a void when it was over, you know?
That's funny. Yeah, I can't. What else? Yeah, True Detective is starting up again. I think did it already
Oh
start?
God, is it?
Yeah, but it looks interesting because it's with two women. Did you notice?
I only saw the first season, which I loved.
I loved the
and
first
then
season.
I heard
too.
the second
I feel
season
like
wasn't
that's
as
all you
good.
need to see.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
tried
really.
watching
That's
each
I've heard
season.
that. Yeah.
I only got through a couple episodes each season.
I can't remember now. I feel like so there's been 3, right?
I think so.
And I've seen them all, and I can't remember whether it was either the second or the third. I think it was like the third was better than the second.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that makes
think you're
sense because
right.
nobody liked the second one from what I heard.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was just like to me, it was like not even worth.
I got
Yeah.
really. It was confusing to me, and I think the end result is that I just didn't care enough to pay attention. But like, it was really confusing the time periods of the second season.
Mm.
Like, I was like, "Is this the future?" Like, I was really like, but it was just because like, I think it was just because it wasn't compelling enough to like actually pay attention. You know what I mean? It's like you really need to pay attention, but the characters and all that, I just
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah.
wasn't paying enough attention. So I don't think it was necessarily more confusing. It just wasn't as interesting to get me to.
They set the bar high. With the
I was
first
just
one, I
about to
guess.
say the
Yeah.
same thing. Yeah, they
Yeah,
set the bar
exactly.
so high.
There's no way to top that.
Yeah.
But I think it might be Jodie Foster or somebody like that in the new season. It should be interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think
Yeah.
it's somebody on that caliber. I don't know if it's Jodie Foster, but somebody of that caliber. You know,
I'll
Like,
watch
more
it,
like the
for
first
sure.
season actors. You know,
Mhm.
McConaughey. And however they did it, like they were such great actors that the future and the past selves seemed different enough that I knew where I didn't have to like rely on like do they look older. I knew. You know, it's like
Yeah.
the later seasons, the acting maybe is just not good enough to be like to act like you're 10 years older or whatever the fuck it was supposed to be. You know?
Right. There have been some shows where, you know, they get to like season 4 or 5, and you can tell the actors are just kind of like over it. You know,
Yeah, well, that's the one good
not
thing
putting as
about
much into it.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about that show is that it's like at least it's or like something like American Horror Story. You watch that, Shane? I know Molecule.
No, but that's totally self-contained seasons too.
Right, it's the same actors, but they play different parts every season.
Yeah.
So I feel like that at least alleviate. And some of them are terrible. I've only managed to watch like 2 episodes of like some seasons. You know, it's just like it's like every other season's pretty good. First season was great. Oh, Zachary Quinto was in it. He was like one of the main guys, and he's a great actor. But then like the
Might have
second
changed
season,
writers.
yeah, I don't know. It's just everything changed, and it's a different theme, and it's a whole different time period sometimes, and it's like if you're not into that, I don't know. Somehow the first couple episodes doesn't work for you. Like there was a whole thing with witches, which I would have loved, but it was just I don't know. It was just so boring or something. You know, it's like they made so many wrong decisions about it. It just was not compelling at all.
Do you think that we're now not going to have any AI movies because of all the negotiations that happened and how they basically are just trying to give and all of the like whatever happened, what's it called, like the actors,
The strike.
The strike.
the strike. Thank you. Yeah, like part of their terms, right, was that there weren't going to be the AI couldn't be replacing them. And I'm excited for AI to replace them because I don't have any skin in the game and I just want like AI movies.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. So I don't know. I just feel
yeah.
like all that shit might be now. It's not going to happen for a while.
I mean, like, you couldn't write better superhero movies than AI can because they're so formulaic
Yeah,
and it can
exactly.
take all that material that exists from like 70 years of comic books and
Yeah.
just probably spit out
Yeah.
the best superhero movies we've ever had. Anything
Yeah, I
that's
mean, why not?
formulaic, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, let them do it at least with the stupid superhero movies.
Yeah, because
In
I
my
mean,
opinion.
it's literally it's almost like it's being done that way anyway. Like they can't deviate that much
Yeah.
Right.
from there. So it's people just spitballing. Oh, how about if we change the uniform to blue or whatever? You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Or
man.
make them
They make the
freeze instead of
exact same
fire.
movie.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think what the strike is about is more about like you're not going to be able to see Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man in an AI movie, but you could definitely see just some AI generated actor for the part.
Man, that was
You
a
know what I mean?
big compromise. Like, so they basically came to terms with SAG that they can't use AI.
No, I think they can't use
Write
AI.
stuff?
They can't use AI to be like to replace to have Robert Downey Jr. be in a movie.
Oh, like a likeness, like
yeah, like
an
an AI.
deepfake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they can't.
Oh,
Unless Downey agrees to it, they get he has to be
Tells
paid,
his
paid for
likeness.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. Which some people have already done that with their voices, right? You can.
yeah,
get-
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that, but I don't think that stops them from just using a studio or whatever, like CGIing, right? Like a whole new character,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
You'd
So,
just
but it's
have to
not. It can't be
redo it.
Robert Downey Jr. Mm-hmm. It can't look like Robert Downey Jr. You know.
Yeah.
But I
makes
mean,
sense.
do we need that? I mean, I'm fine with like a completely unknown.
Or just an
unknown
AI generated
actors.
person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's
doesn't even
like
have
the
to be a
same one
person.
for each movie. That's fine. It doesn't even have to be. We were okay with that, even. You know. So obviously, it could be a different one each movie.
Toe has a question for the director of the podcast.
All right,
And
go
why
on.
it says Shane, Case, and Molecule, but it says Happy Thanksgiving.
That's because our intern was too lazy to change the.
A classic director. Blame it on the intern.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you tell Fat Toe that he might have brought that up a little sooner. You know.
Was that the last time Shane was on the pod? Is that why it says Happy Thanksgiving?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Happy New Year. I'm changing that to New Year.
In real time.
Yeah, exactly. In real time. Happy New Year.
We have a
Two
ton of
exclamation
listeners,
points.
Shane. So this is really
Yep.
going to blow up your new podcast.
Oh yeah. How many listeners we got? Fat Toe?
Yeah, pretty much Fat Toe.
I don't know. Sometimes we get like 6.
Yeah.
That'd be a big night for us.
Don't go bragging, Miles. Don't brag to Shane about our 6 listeners.
We have 4, actually. Thank you very much. One of those might be me.
One of them might be
But-
Fiddler listening in, but I doubt it because he doesn't really seem to care. If he misses the pod, he doesn't go back and listen to it. Anyway, so
He's traveling today. We'll give him a break.
yeah, he had a family emergency,
Oh.
which I guess
hope that's okay.
is good enough for the pod cancellation. I mean, I guess so. What do you think, Malls?
We'll still give him shit about it next week.
Yeah, exactly.
He loves it.
All right, well, let's wrap this up. Huh? It's almost been an hour.
Heck yeah.
It's been good.
That was fun, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for
it
having
was
me.
good. It was perfect. Just us talking. That's what this
course.
podcast is about.
This is Shane. He's just about to debut his, well, let's hope it's going to stay, Heavy Mental podcast.
And
Yes.
one of the many heavy mental podcasts.
And everyone tune in. If you have any mental,
It'll be the good one. Just look for the good one. Listen to all of them, and the one that's good is ours.
But in parentheses, we're not rapists or something. Just to cast aspersions on the other.
Yeah, we'll have like a little.
That's a really good idea.
Remember, the original heavy mental. That's free. People will think you were first, and that they stole it from you. Ah.
The often copied.
All right, my
Never gets
catchphrase. You're not a podcast until you have a catchphrase, Shane. So let's get you a catchphrase right now. Mine is, "That'll teach me." Fiddler's is, "Stay salty, you'll get your nuts," which he's not here to
Mine
say.
is something about dicks.
You need a thing. Let's get it right now. You need a catchphrase. You need something that you're going to say every time when you start.
For the new podcast for Heavy Mental.
Just as a podcaster, you need to have
Okay.
some sort of.
Something to do with pain, Shane and pain.
Don't put him on the spot or anything.
Well, you can change it. Let's come up with a rudimentary
Or
one now.
taint. Shane, pain, taint. Those all rhyme.
Mine does have dick.
They all three apply to me.
Shane Payne Taint. Shane Payne Taint. Let's try it. I said, as we're
You have to change
starting.
the logo for your podcast.
I thought
feel
your
your taint tattoo should be a good one.
That's a good idea too. Yeah, I can just bury it in like this. You swipe through the photos for the podcast, and they'll be like buried towards the end.
This is what
It's
happens
buried in
when
my
you
pants.
have bipolar type 2, everyone.
I believe Shane would have got a taint too, even if he was completely sane.
Who knows?
But he's not completely sane. He's Shane. He's completely Shane. Completely Shane.
Completely Shane. Not insane.
Maybe
I
work.
thought yours was case closed, kid.
That's when I win. That's when I win big at the poker tables. That's just
Okay,
and my
okay.
hat explodes and things come out. I go, case closed. I mean, I could do that here too. It does work.
Speaking of poker, what are you guys doing? You want to hop on there?
Yeah, we usually play with our listeners you guys should try to do that. I don't. Sometimes I try to invite Grease and he doesn't have any fun. So I'm imagining that.
You hear
I don't know
that,
if I would
Fat
want to
Joe? Fuck
expose
football.
listeners to like the potential assholes that are filling Poker Stars.
Yeah, that's true.
The mental health takes it
Be like,
back.
sorry for
Obvious,
this.
dude.
Sorry, guys. Maybe if we did like a private room, that'd actually be really cool, man. Like,
Yeah, we haven't definitely
got
have
enough
people.
listeners with quests. Do like a private.
Yeah, I mean that's what.
Poker room.
Yeah, I mean if we actually, it's mostly fat.
And you don't even need a quest now, right?
Yeah, you
Oh
do
yeah, you can just
computer.
play on
Yeah,
PC. It's a
sure.
good idea. Man, I'm full of all kinds of good ideas and also discovering that our name was taken. Great, guys.
All right, so let's test it out. That'll teach me. Case closed.
Completely Shane, not insane.
Something about dicks.